This Olympia is proving to be one of the most competitive in recent years. Since the end of the reign of Phil Heath in 2017, there have been 3 different winners. Of these 3 wins, Big Rami's last year was the most convincing. However, a repeat for Rami is not a certainty, as he's proven in the past that peaking for a contest is not always a given. Many people seem to think that he's found a winning coaching team in the combination of Chad Nichols and Dennis James. So was last year the start of a trend for Rami, or merely a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence? Well, let's get on with my top 6 predictions for this year's Olympia and find out. Number 6. Hunter Labrada. His win at the Chicago Pro this year was a convincing one, beating amongst others Roly Winkler and Max Charles. It wasn't the deepest of lineups, but Hunter showed all of us he can carry mass and conditioning without foregoing symmetry. Number 5. William Bonak. Bonak knew that he had to do something dramatic to improve upon his 2020 5th place. Since then he's added a purported 15 pounds of muscle in the hope it wins him that elusive Sandown. However, that added mass has come at the unfortunate expense of some unsightly gyno, which will inevitably throw off his lines. Although not necessarily a showstopper, it's going to be looked upon poorly by the judges in this top tier contest. That's why I believe he'll remain at 4th. Number 4. Nick Walker. Nobody's had a better run-up to this year's Olympia than Walker, his very first. Coming off the wins from the New York Pro and the Arnold, he has some incredible momentum going into this year's competition. However, the only person to win the Olympia on their first showing was Larry Scott back in 1965 at the very first Mr. Olympia. There's a feeling amongst athletes and bodybuilding commentators that no matter how great someone looks on their first Olympia, they have to pay their dues. I think this is the year that Walker does just that, but I believe that his time will come. Number 3. Brandon Curry. The 2019 winner didn't manage to retain his crown last year. In fact, many people believe that second place was too high for him. He's put on size since then, particularly in his legs, which were a notable weakness in last year's show. Nonetheless, I think that's not going to be enough for him to push past my number 2 pick. The next guy is just too good. Number 2. Hardy Chupin. Chupin came into the country at the last minute last year and walked into the show as the most ripped competitor. At the 2020 evening show, he scored higher than Phil Heath. This year's been different for him. He's learnt his lesson, got his visa issues sorted out early, and entered the country with ample time to prepare for the contest. This lengthy prep period means he's going to be able to dial his condition in even more successfully than last year, and I think improve on his 2020 4th place. So this, together with his tightly packed muscular frame, means Hardy Chupin is my number 2 pick. Number 1. Big Rami. I think Rami was so dominant last year in terms of size, shape and conditioning that at this point in time, no one can really touch him. I believe that in Chad Nichols and Dennis James, he's clearly found a winning coaching combination. Despite my reservations about his past inability to peak properly for contests, I think the combined expertise of Nichols and James is enough for him to retain the title and put some further distance between him and other competitors. If he does bag another win as dominant as last year's, then it's a strong sign that we have entered the reign of Big Rami. So there it is, my top 6 picks for the Mr. Olympia 2021. I'd really be interested in what you have to think about them. Thank you.